All right, so this was week 2 of the USL Championship, and there was a lot of games, a lot of things that happened. I mean, some of the biggest things was Tampa Bay and San Antonio. That was a really good game. Pittsburgh still hasn't won. They were the Players' Shield winners last year, and they still haven't won. So is it time to be worried? I don't think so. I think it's still very early, but still, that's something that you can't It's in the back of your head. But the game that I really want to talk about is Rhode Island FC. Now, Rhode Island FC is a brand new team. They had their inaugural home game in front of a sellout crowd. Now, this game I watched, and I thought it was a really good game. From the beginning, I thought Rhode Island was pressing very well. You could not tell that they were a brand new team. Now, it seemed like this game meant a lot to them because this is Rhode Island's very first professional team. So you had the governor there, you had the mayor there, you had the university president there because they're playing in a university. You had the team owner obviously there, and they got to do the coin toss together. Then you had a Blackhawk flying over. The crowd was great. The crowd was a sellout crowd, like I said. And there's a player that I really liked, and Noah Fuson. I think that's how you say his last name. But I thought he was very good in the beginning. I thought he looked like a very experienced player. The only thing is, as the game progressed, it seemed like he got tired or he lost his rhythm. I'm not sure. But he kind of went silent. But in the beginning, he looked very well. He was doing like little tricks, trying to break through the defenders and attacking. But then the second half, for sure, I don't know what happened. He just turned off or I don't know. He lost his momentum. But in the beginning, I really liked this player. I really liked the way he was playing. Rhode Island, they honestly could have been winning 2-0, but the goalie's best friend helped New Mexico. The post, 2 of those shots went off the post. I kind of wondered if the wind was a factor, but still, overall, this game was a great game. It ends up being 1-1, and the first ever Rhode Island goal at home doesn't even belong to Rhode Island. It belongs to New Mexico defender. It was a cross going in, a free kick. Yeah, it was a cross going into the box, and unfortunately, the defender, it ricochets off of his leg, and it goes in. So the first goal, that's pretty funny that it doesn't even belong to Rhode Island. But if Rhode Island keeps playing the way they did that game, because like I said, during the game, you could not tell that this was a brand new team. You could not tell that this was an inaugural team. I know it's only game 1. A lot of teams are still warming up. You could kind of say the first month of the season to some teams is still in a way preseason. So after the first game, they leave with a 1-1 draw. They leave with 1 point, and we will see how they progress as the season continues. Now, something else I wanted to talk about was Brooklyn FC is going to be joining the USL Championship in 2025. Now, that to me seems a bit odd. Now, let me explain. Because in New York, you already have 2 teams in soccer in the MLS. You have NYCFC and the New York Red Bulls. Now, the thing is, with these 2 teams, they don't even sell out at home. They don't even sell the stadium to full capacity. I mean, if it has, it's been very rare. So I find this a bit odd that New York wants to incorporate another team from New York. It wants to incorporate another soccer team. I don't understand why cities do this when they can't even sell out the teams that they already have there. Now, it almost seems like the USL Championship understands that a lot of teams have folded and they just want to recuperate right now. Like, you want to join? Okay, yep. You want to join? Yep. Here you go. And instead of, doing due diligence, the United States is huge. It's huge. And it seems like a lot of the USL Championship teams are in the southern part of the US or in the West and the East Coast. And inside the mainland, there's really nothing. There's no teams there. So I don't understand why they want another team in a major city to compete. They have fans already in the MLS, and now you have to try to convince those fans to come join you. It just seems like a missed opportunity for another city, another soccer-loving city. And you can see this with other sports. You have the New York Yankees and the New York Mets. If I'm not mistaken, it feels like the New York Mets don't really sell out as much as the New York Yankees. So I just find it odd. I really wish that the USL would look into different teams, different cities, and say, hey, this town seems to be a very loving soccer community. How can we get you guys to come either, maybe not even the USL Championship, this is the USL League One, and then working your way up? Because like I said, I feel like the biggest issue with this is that you now have to convince fans to come and join. And we all know it's Division 2, right? So I feel like in the US, kind of that stigma of like, oh, it's Division 2, it's not really, it's not really Division 1. I know that like in Europe, for example, in England, wherever your town is, that's the club you support. Even if they suck, that's the club you have to support. I'm not saying fans don't have other teams that they root for in the Premier League or anything like that, but they still show up for the lower league teams. And so I know in the US, soccer is being watched because you have a lot of fans who watch the Premier League, and then Wrexham. Wrexham was this huge thing that happened, and you had a lot of people, even different like networks, talking about Wrexham, and that was getting so much coverage. So I know that in the US, soccer is growing, and it just seems like the USL Championship could have looked for another team, another city to go after instead of bringing Brooklyn. Now I know they're coming in 2025. Maybe there'll be a team that doesn't even come in and participate in the USL Championship, kind of like Queensborough. It's going to be very difficult to convince these fans when they don't already show up for the MLS side. Now you have to convince them to come join you. I mean, I'm from Chicago, and Chicago Fire doesn't even sell out, and they have lower league teams too, and they couldn't bring fans, so they had to go even lower. If your main team isn't filling up, what makes you think that a lower league team is going to? So those are just two topics that I want to cover in this video real quick. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What game stood out to you? And then what do you guys think about Brooklyn joining the USL Championship? I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. But with that, guys, please make sure you like this video, share it, and I will see you guys all on the next one.